Who cares about Taylor Swift? Perhaps because I have a bit of a cold today, I'm somewhat more Scrooge-like than my typical demeanor. But in my heart of hearts, when I see the Instagram pictures that definitely weren't planned for weeks ahead of time by PR people, I cannot help but say to myself, I really don't care. I'm Arthur Petropoulos, managing partner and president here at Hillview Partners. We're a middle market, lower middle market investment banking firm helping companies generating $1 million to $20 million a year in pre-tax earnings or EBITDA to sell their companies and to secure capital. So every day, there's some new flash that comes up on LinkedIn. Sometimes it's Taylor Swift's engagement ring. It's the Cracker Barrel logo. It's some buffoon at a Coldplay concert. And everybody has 7,000 comments about it. And somehow, I'm reading an article about how the guy at the Coldplay is what should make you really realize that you need a new payment processor for your company. Or Taylor Swift's engagement ring really emphasizes the value of authenticity when getting a new HR person at your company. But, fundamentally, the only things that make things happen in business are doing the things. And so I say in our business, nobody hires us because Arthur is such a charming, wonderful man. Nobody hires us because I can play piano at a 6th grade level. They hire us because we deliver an outcome. And so when I think about business, and constantly people do ask us, how do we make business better? How do we improve our business? How do we sell our business for more? How do I start a business? How do I join a company? Whether it's from college interns through, octogenarians, these questions come to us. And what I can definitively say from working with tons and tons of businesses over the years is the best business people do less things. The best business people do less things. They do more of the less things that they do, but they think about less things, they do less things, they contemplate less things, they just do the things that move the needle. Everything in life will progress an objective to some degree. However, some things will progress it far more than others. I could stand on the roof of my house and say, I sell companies, please hire us. And maybe once every century, someone would walk by and say, oh my gosh, I've been looking for a guy to sell businesses who also stands on roofs. But in reality, sending X thousand emails a month, making X thousand phone calls, going to conferences, speaking, making more YouTube videos, whatever it is, there are higher leverage things. So the best people in business, they tend to do less of more things. And so again, going back to the refrain or the motif of this rant, don't worry about a bunch of extraneous things. It's like the guy you talk to who says, I really want to get in shape. I'm doing cold plunges and I'm doing red French fry lighting on my head every night when I go to sleep. And I sniff these vitamins and breathe with this putty from Machu Picchu on my face. But in reality, it's, 95% of the progress is going to be moving more and eating less. And then, there's these things that can kind of move the needle at the end. And so in business, it's the same way. And so when I say, who cares about Taylor Swift? I don't know if I don't care as much as, seeing two 35-year-olds act like 12-year-olds who just said yes to go to the prom together. I'd love to see the betting odds on this, but nonetheless, I know this is such a wonderful accomplishment for mankind. Who cares about AI? Like, let's get more of this guy being her backup dancer and playing bad football. But nonetheless, notwithstanding, the point is, or the whole point of this is, when it comes to business, focus on the things that matter. 90%, 95, 98% of the results are going to be dictated by a handful of things, whereas all of the other extraneous things are going to move the needle very slightly compared to these things. So what are these two things? If you're not going to spend your time, doom scrolling on TikTok about which Kardashian is ruining which NBA player's life, well, two things in business: product and sales. The thing you make, do, offer, or serve. Is it good? Do people want it? And when we say, is it good? Good is an amalgamation of attributes for a business, for a product, service, or offering. So when we say it's good versus the alternatives, is it faster? Does it create a better outcome? Does it create a more certain outcome? Does it create less pain for the client to get to that outcome? So that's it. Think of your product. Think of the service, think of the offering, iterate over and over and over again. Is it better, faster, less pain, higher certainty of outcome? That's the magic. And that's what you need to focus on for your product, service, or offering. Now, get people to know about it. That's sales. Right? How do people know you exist? How do they know this product is there? When they have their pain, when they are suffering at night saying, how do I solve this situation I am in if I only knew about X, right? How do you make sure that you're the person that comes to mind for the objective that they want to accomplish? And that is sales. And we've said it in multiple videos before. The way to sell things is to tell things to people you don't know, tell things to people you do know. So again, think of cold outreach, think of warm outreach or affiliate situations. Paid ads, billboards, LinkedIn, whatever it is, but paying someone to distribute your message, content, prophecy to the world. Content, making random YouTube videos at midnight talking about Taylor Swift and business. And jokes aside, goodwill, word of mouth, that tends to be the flywheel that falls off things. But if you want to tell people about the stuff that you do, you need to either reach out to people you don't know, reach out to people that you do know, pay for ads that the world can see, or create content about your subject matter expertise. And so we'll keep this video fairly brief, but the amount of headlines and ways that people take certain headlines and somehow try to morph it into why you need to buy a 12-pack of Titleist golf balls, it made us think. What really matters in business and all of this noise, the paradox, if you will, or the quandary of modern existence is that this cell phone that we are yelling into right now is the Library of Alexandria. You could learn anything you possibly want at any moment about anything, or you have this endless pit of nihilistic irreverence for whatever stupid thing is going on in the world, right? Humanity for thousands of years, every day was war to survive, right? And that's the exciting thing. We think about business. What is business? It's a war to get ahead. It's a war to progress. It's a war to get to the next level of things. And, society has somehow kind of numbed itself down to a degree that, the war we create is that with other people on X who, made a meme about, a chicken sandwich being better than the one that you like. Seems odd. So nonetheless, I am going to take some Tylenol and I'm going to go to sleep. But I just wanted to profess to the world, A, how much I don't care about Taylor Swift, and B, more importantly, in business, more of less. Product, is it good? Break down the characteristics of good, and do you tick those boxes? And do people know it exists? And are you doing the things to let them know it does exist? Iterate on those things. Just focus on that. Don't worry about the noise, whether it's the Fed, politics, this and that. If your business isn't making $1 billion a year in profit, you don't have a whole lot of macroeconomic exposure. The next time I see someone who runs a hot dog stand saying, "Oh, the tariffs are really killing us here," it's not. It's just, the whole world your industry could cut in half in terms of revenue. And, if you're 1% of the industry and you just got 1% more of an industry, then even if the total aggregate revenue of the pie gets cut in half, you can stay the same, right? And so there's so much that we can control. That's the exciting part. That's the great thing about business, is that you can grow it. You don't need to focus on 1,000 different things. It doesn't matter about your morning ritual, your meditations, if you're being authentically vulnerable when you speak to the operator to get the number for Domino's, right? All you have to worry about is product sales, iterate, and people can say, these YouTube videos are incredibly abrasive. I don't care about, the way you present things, but it doesn't matter. The results at the end of the day will hold a day, and people want, whether it's your clients, the people you provide services to, they want the outcomes. Deliver the outcomes, and again, and you can wear the same ugly tweed jackets every day on your YouTube channel, and people will still want to work with you because that's what they care about. Or again, if you see me on a podcast one day talking about, what I think about interior decorating, please send me an email saying, "Arthur, I think you've lost the plot here." But if we keep talking about business every week, forever, I assure you, A, we will continue to talk about our experiences, the questions that come up, the ways we can problem solve, the pain that we can resolve for our clients, and B, we'll get a little bit better at making these videos too, I suppose. But that's a thought for this week. Appreciate everybody's time for perhaps a little less than serious note here, or less than technical kind of exploration of business, but something that we still want to kind of pound the drums about when chatting on how to grow a business, how to optimize the value for a business. Hope the week's going well. Keep pushing forward. God bless. I'll see everyone next time.